Hi everyone, it's that time of the year, it's Pesach, time to clean the house for Pesach, time to clean our homes and our hearts, time to feel the freedom, what it means to be a free person, what it means to be able to feel good about yourself, which is very important. One of the first things I'll speak about what it means to be free is the ability to give tzedakah, to give charity for those families that have difficulty feeling that freedom. The financial situation is very difficult. It's very, very hard for them. The costs of Pesach, we know, all of us know, are incredibly high. And we have to do our utmost, not only for ourselves, but for our entire nation. Whoever we can help. It's a tremendous mitzvah to be able to get to Pesach. Rabbi Nachman teaches that about tzedakah, it is written in the Torah, Patoach tiftach et yadcha. Open, you should open your hand. Why the redundancy? Open, you should open. I mean, you opened it, you gave. Charity has the power to open the door. You want to get your foot in the door? You give charity, you open the door. But open, you should open, means that charity opens not only the door that you want to enter right now, but it will also open up all the following doors that you have to open up in your life. That's what we want, especially now at this time when everything seems closed. There's lockdowns, you can't move, you can't go out, you can't travel, whatever is happening, it's very difficult. Everything is closed upon us, right? Charity will open those doors. When we speak of the freedom of Pesach, we're speaking of the freedom of somebody who has taken of himself and given to somebody else. We're talking of somebody who has taken his inner being and shared it with others. That's the greatness of charity. We at Breslov Research are embarking now on a campaign to raise money to help all these people that we know, the families that we know that are really destitute, families that don't have, families that need, families with quite a few children. And thank God they exist the whole year. It's difficult. They don't come asking. They're not begging at our doors. But we know their situation, and we know that they don't have enough. You have a family, even 4 children. You got to buy shoes for them. Child grows every year. You have to have new shoes for them. Clothes that fit. You have to have a lot of things, right? We're not talking even about the food, which is really what the main thing is for Pesach. Because what else can you do? You can't eat chametz, right? There's no pizza, none of that. You've got to be able to fill their stomachs with decent food. Decent food. We're not talking about junk food, we're talking about decent food. So please, we're embarking now on this campaign called Kimcha de Pischa. It's called the Flower for Pesach. That's the words used in the Shulchan Aruch. And that's what we're trying to do. Provide flour and food, matzah, wine, and all the other goodies, meat and fish, and all the things that are necessary for Pesach, along with the veggies, along with the good things that people need. So please, help us in our campaign to expand the amount of people that we give. Last year, at this time of the year, I merited to contact COVID-19, Corona. I was hospitalized, and I almost didn't make it. Whatever, Hashem has His plans, Hashem has His way of dealing with people, and I did not know about it, but our organization, Breslov Research Institute, went and they opened up a campaign to help raise money, which I did not know about because I was hospitalized and there was no contact really. And they raised a lot of money. They helped some 140 families to be able to make it through Pesach. And we're trying this year to increase the amount. We're trying this year to be able to bring more families into the circle, to be able to provide whatever it is that we can to all the different families. May Hashem help us, and He can help us, and He does help us always. But we'd like you to become a vehicle in helping us. If you take the word Pesach in Hebrew, you can make it a hybrid word. Pesach, a mouth that speaks. What's the mouth that speaks? What's the significance of it? The Zohar teaches us that in Egypt, speech was an exile. Mitzrayim, the word Mitzrayim is like a closed, constricted area. The neck, from where speech emerges, that's where we have our vocal cords. It's like we were in Mitzrayim, we were in the Meitzar, the narrowest part of the body, which is the neck. And what happened? The verse at the end of the second chapter of Shemot tells us, in those days the king of Egypt, Paro, died. Vayeonchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'avodah vayezoku. The Jews sighed. Oy! They sighed from all their work, and they screamed out to Hashem. Vatal shavosam, and their cries went up to Hashem. Vayara lekimis na'akosam. Hashem saw all their suffering and all the difficulties they were having in speaking. The Shoah HaKadosh explains that you'll notice none of the words speak about praying to Hashem. Why not? Because speech was an exile. Speech, the exile of Mitzrayim, the neck, the exile of the vocal cords, when we can't speak freely, we have to watch what we're saying. Is it politically correct? Is it one of those insensitive things that we say that we all get into trouble? All the politicians are buried because of the insensitive words. They just took Dr. Seuss's books off the market. Dr. Seuss, they took him off the market because they found a few words that may be insensitive, but freedom of speech, you cannot speak freely. That's not what Pesach means. Pesach stands for being able to speak freely, speak what's on your mind, and yet never insult another person. That's the power of Pesach. That's what it means, freedom, when we can express ourselves freely between all of our fellow men, right? We don't have to worry about, oh, maybe this and that, whatever. And thank God we have Pesach now 3,300 years over. What we have to understand about Pesach is Pesach. When we give charity, we provide for ourselves the value of what it means a human being. And once we establish the value of a human being, well, he is a speaker. As a speaker, he is a human being. That's one of the most important lessons that we'll ever learn about Pesach. Pesach, freedom of speech. It's guaranteed in the Bill of Rights of the U.S. Constitution, right? But does anyone have freedom of speech today? No. Everybody is locked up in certain ways. Don't say this, don't say that, don't use this word, don't use that word. Watch, there's no freedom of speech. No. We can get to the level of freedom of speech that we can talk freely, and we have it in our hearts to really want to communicate with our fellow man. When we give the charity, then we're able to convey our feelings and our innermost thoughts to another without having to worry about what's the other person going to say. That is true freedom of speech. Remember that this year was a very difficult year. Corona locked down, literally locked down many people. Many businesses went under. Many people suffered severe financial strains. And what we have to do is open our hearts. We, by giving them, make them also. They express their gratitude to us. Well, that's thank you. That's expressing. They become speakers too. Not only do we become speakers by giving the charity, we enable others to ascend to the level of human being. Instead of being broken and worn out from all the travails that they've suffered during the year, they now have the opportunity to become human beings too. Regnosium, one Erev Pesach, did not have anything for his house. Someone came in and asked him, what's going on? He said, don't worry. Pesach, everyone sits down to the Seder. Everyone will have. But where do we get, how do we acquire the actual Pesach itself? Right? We acquire it when we give to charity. We acquire it when we give to somebody else. There are people, Pesach, somehow everybody makes it through, right? Don't we all sit down to the Seder? I'll never finish in time, right? Whatever. But we all sit down to the Seder. But how do we get the feel, the taste, the actual beautiful, wonderful taste of what Pesach means, of what it means to be able to open our mouths and share with others? This is what it means when we give charity to somebody. Regnosium said that there will be of Pesach. We will have for Pesach. But how do we get the Pesach itself? We get it by giving to others. We get it by being able to share what we have with others and let them have too. May it be a good year for all of Israel, and may we merit to see the coming of Mashiach, the ultimate redemption, speedily in our days. Amen.